Hi everyone, my name's Madison. Welcome to Tuesdays with Grace. I am so happy that I'm able to show you guys this project. I think it's the cutest little project to do, and I think it's great for gifts for pre-Christmas. And it's super fun, and it's a super easy project to learn how to do. So for materials, we are gonna need our pattern, we're gonna need our fabric, our cutting supplies. Go get your True Cut right now, it's great. And some scissors and pins and a couple of other things that I have in my Mary Poppins bag, a little bit down here. So today we are doing patchwork stockings. Super fun. My coworker and friend Megan, she designed this pattern and it turned out adorable. So I'm so happy that I'm able to do it and go along the project with you guys. So first things first, make sure you find your fabric. In the pattern, it will have all of the sizes you need, but she provided me with this cute little 5x5 inch square bundle. Super cute. I used most of it, but this is what's left. These are 5-inch squares, but we're gonna be cutting them into fourths. I think that's how you would say it. But we're gonna make 4 squares out of 1, so 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. I'm not gonna show that on camera, but I have gone through and I have cut out all of these squares. And when you look at these, you will see how fun the fabric is. It is so cute and so fun. I'm in love with this stuff. In her description, she says to cut out 88. I actually used about, I think it's 75. I used 35 for each one. If I'm doing my math right, it should be about 70, 75. And then you have your lining fabric that's also considered your backing. And it's also gonna be the top part of the stocking as well. So I've cut that out as well, all in the pattern, so don't you worry about remembering all of this. Okay, I'm gonna move all my stuff to the side a little bit just so I can show you. In her pattern, she gives you the stocking. So this is one part of it, this is the other part, you'll cut them out, and then you will tape them together. So you'll have your measurements perfectly. So I put both papers down on my little cutting mat and I lined them up, and then I just started taking my squares and lining it up. I just put them on, made sure I had enough. And for me, it was about 4 by 5 rows to fit it. And then for the bottom part, I did 5 blocks and I did 3 rows of that. I sewed them all together. And we came out with this really cute stocking, which I'm so happy about. Put this back in my Mary Poppins bag. Ta-da! So, as you can see, it's really squared off. But it worked out. It's 5 rows of 4 squares and then 3 rows of 5. So, I have already cut out this pattern, so I won't have to show you how to do it. And I've taped it together, so let me pull out mine. And here we go. Just to double check, I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna lay my fabric down and I'm gonna put this on top and make sure that it will fit. And it does. Woo! Good job, Maddie. So I'm putting that off to the side. And now we're gonna quilt this. I have cut out my backing and batting to be the right size. That will help. And I'm gonna do push quilting. Do not judge me because I am not the best at push quilting. I do not have a lot of experience with it, but I'm so grateful that we have our little rebel that I can learn on. And it's such a cool process to be able to be a part of this company at this time. So before you get started, for when you get quilting, make sure you put your plate on. I've been caught so many times not putting this on and not knowing why it's not working, but make sure you put the plate on. It's a little magnetic. You just slide it right on under. And now we are in quilting mode. So I'm pulling up my bottom thread and making sure that everything works, everything's great. And now we get to put our little sandwich on and get ready to go. The greatest thing about the little Rebel is while you are quilting, it has a little sensor so that your stitches are all stitch regulated and you do not have to worry about it. So the faster you move the fabric, the faster your stitches will go and they'll look great every time. Okay, I think I'm done. It looks a little messy, but when it's put together, it's gonna look so good. Not even worried about it one bit. Let's make sure we pull this bottom thread. Pull it out, do another stitch, and there it is. Clip that off, and you're all done. All right, so what we are gonna do now is we're gonna make sure that we're just gonna cut around these edges just so we don't have extra fabric. Do not cut on your fabric that you want to be seen, because we will do that when we come to our stocking and make sure that it's all the way around that. Come around and make sure it comes through all the layers. So this is part of our scrap patchwork segments for our Christmas, and I want to know what sort of patchwork ideas and designs and different quilt projects you guys are doing, because we are always looking for new designs and new things to do. It's super fun, and it helps my creative juices flow, and it helps me know what you guys would like to see more of. And continue cutting. I'm gonna go all the way across, and there we go. So here is the front part of my stocking. I think it turned out pretty good for push quilting. Not terrible. And while I'm showing my magic Mary Poppins bag, I'm gonna pull in and come out with my other side. So I've already done this off screen. I wish I could say I was a magician and it would just come out, but I did this off screen beforehand, and I wanted to do a different design than what Megan had us do in the pattern, and that is something that we really want you guys to do. Put your own spin on everything, and you don't have to follow us by the book. So I did this. It's a little bit bigger, and the stitching lines are a little bit straighter. And I did just diagonal stitch lines, and I really like this. But the one thing that you'll notice that they're different is they're mirrored of each other. This is super important because when you go to sew it, you want right sides together, and when you flip it back out, it'll be a perfect stocking instead of having the sides like this in the end. So now we're gonna cut it to size. So what we have to do is we have to pin our paper template to our fabric. I'm gonna make sure it's aligned, that every piece is covered, and we will start to pin. And then I'm gonna pin it on the nose of the stocking. I don't really know if it's called the nose, but yeah, it's the toe. It is a stocking, so it's probably the toe. My coworker Bryant is right for the first time. Okay, so now that it's all gone, I'm gonna take my scissors. You can also take your cutter and do real easy. I have my 6.5 by 6.5 square, and I'm gonna use that for the sides. So I feel like I can line it up pretty well and go with it from here. Then we're gonna come up a little bit. Oh, True Cut is seriously amazing. It is my favorite thing. Any chance I have to use it, I will. I'm gonna move the pin a little bit over so we are in the right spot. Whoa. Okay, we're gonna keep cutting. I probably should say cutting, but it changes. Okay. Now I'm gonna move it down just a titch. I don't know if that's a form of measurement that a lot of people use, but my family uses it all the time, just a titch. And then for the bottom half, I am gonna pull out my scissors. I wanna make sure that I'm doing this correctly. And since I have it already pinned, it's gonna go smooth. Just don't cut the paper or your fingers. Rule of thumb. Come around. Okay, that back part's done. Doesn't look as pretty as my top part, but we'll go with it. And we are good there. And just this last little piece up here. Okay, unpin. Okay, first part, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Now we're going for this piece. And for this, if you put it on the same way that you did the other one, you'll see that they go opposite. So make sure you flip it and then do the exact same thing that you did. Because that way, when you put them together, right sides will be together and it will be perfect. Okay, let's grab my pins. What kinds of traditions do people have with your family, and are you guys working on any projects to give as a gift for your family? I'm actually working on a project besides this one, and it is gonna be for my boyfriend's mom for Christmas. And I'm really happy with it. And she loves these certain colors, and so I chose to do like the blues that she loves. And I'm hoping she likes it. If she doesn't, I'm just gonna say that my boss made it and wanted to get rid of it. I think that's a good fallback, but I don't know. Okay, same thing. Let's get to cutting. Good. I'm actually gonna just round this out. I think I did pretty good there. And we are coming through. I feel like I'm cruising right now. Hopefully I am, and hopefully this is still entertaining for everyone because it is so fun to make this project. Let's clip that off. I'm gonna try this again and see if this will work. I strongly suggest to use your scissors. I think it's just easier. And you get more precise lines if you do that. Cut up right up to the edge so you make sure that both sides are super lined up. Gonna trim just a little bit here. Gonna double take. I think that looks good to me. I'm gonna pull out my pins. And we are good. Now, this is where the magic happens. Take both your sides, pin them together, make sure you do right sides together. Oh, this is gonna look so cute. I'm pretty happy with how they lined up, I will say that. Okay, it's all pinned together. Usually at this point you would have to switch out machines, but with a little Rebel, how amazing is it that you can also sew on it? It is just like a normal domestic machine, so I'm gonna take all the stuff off and we are gonna switch it to be a domestic machine. So I'm gonna pull this off just a titch and slide it off. Come across. I did that a lot smoother than I thought I was going to. Okay, then we're gonna grab our handy dandy tools, make sure we pull this off, and that will disengage the quilting mode. Make sure you keep it in a spot that you're not gonna lose it. And now we are going to switch to our other foot that is gonna be used for sewing. Take off our quilting foot, you just unscrew it. It's so easy to do. And I'm so grateful that it's so easy to do because sometimes I can get a little confused with myself. Pull that off. I'm gonna set it over here. And now we are gonna pull this, put it right in here. And the nice thing is you never have to align it because it just fits perfectly. We're gonna take the same screw, screw this back in. And we are ready to sew. When sewing, it'll be in the pattern, but do not sew the top because that's where we're gonna flip it out. So I'm just gonna start and I'm gonna do 1/4 of an inch inseam. This out. Go as slow as you need to make sure that you get those corners nice and easy. And let's get here. Come around the corner. Make sure you do a reverse stitch so everything stays in spot. And we are so good. You can pull that off. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I will say this is my first time making this pattern because Megan has done this pattern before and she just gave me instructions and I wanted to show you how easy it is for even first timers. I'm gonna trim this one part that it looks a little clunky. And we're gonna flip it out and we're gonna see how we did. Pull it through. Okay. Just make sure everything comes out, untwisted. And here it is. I will give this a solid 10 out of 10. I think it looks so cute. It's perfect. I could poke out the toes just a little bit more and I will do that after I am finished. Okay, now I'm gonna iron it or press it. Make sure everything's in place. Let's just come across. Poke it out a little bit. And nice and warm. Okay, we're looking good. Okay, now we have the last little bit. For our last part, we're gonna add the top so it's not gonna look like this. And the way that it's described in the pattern is you're gonna cut a 4x15 inch strip, just like this. And then you're gonna fold it in half. And we are actually gonna turn it back inside out for this part. Okay. All right, you're gonna take your 4.5 by 15 strip, you're gonna fold it in half, just like so. And you're gonna press, I finger press this and it worked pretty well, so I'm just gonna keep it like that. And we are gonna line up the raw edge, so not the folded edge, to the raw top of the sock or the stocking. And now we are gonna sew. Let's make sure that we pin it in spot so everything works out. And I'm gonna fold this down just a little bit. Okay. And then we're gonna start to sew. And make sure you're going really slow at this part just because it is a full circle and you want to make sure that you do not sew on the back part. Come all the way around. Okay, we are all done. Let's lift this up. Pull it across. Okay, looks pretty good to me. Now flip it out, inside out again. And we're gonna tuck in our toe just a little bit, as you can see here. Make sure everything gets out. Just make sure you keep tucking as we're pushing through. And then once you get past the toe, you're gonna fold it all the way out and just pull. And, okay. This flips, and then when you come, you're gonna just flip it out on the edge and you're gonna press it down. And this is your stocking. I'm really happy with how this came out. We are just gonna fold this and then make sure you press so this stays. And now we're gonna do just the last part with attaching the little lip so you can hang it. So how we're gonna do that is we're gonna fold these end pieces together and we're gonna fold right sides together. So this is a 2x5" block. Just fold it together and then take it to your sewing machine. And we are sewing. And it is caught, so I'm just gonna clip that end and keep going. So now we gotta flip it inside out. The best way to do this is usually by having your pen. I pulled this out of my Mary Poppin bag. And just unfold just a little bit. And you're gonna tuck it in and you're gonna take the pen and you're just gonna start sliding it down. It's like a magic trick. It's like disappearing. And then once it's a little bit, just keep pulling it out. And so now it's all tucked out. So we're gonna fold it in half and we're gonna put it on the inside. You can put it on either side, which way you want it to hang. You're gonna line it up with the inseam on the inside and take it to your sewing machine. And we're just gonna do a little bit of sewing. Then I'm gonna come across the back. Just make sure that it's tucked in real nice. Pull it up. And there you go. We're gonna clip these just a little bit. And there is your final stocking. So this is my side and this is the side that Megan will teach you in the pattern. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is such a fun way to use some scraps, and it's also a fun way to get kids involved if you want to help them out creating their own stockings. And with quilting, just have fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. You guys are awesome, and we love you guys so much, and thank you for watching and joining me.